Oh boy. Welcome back to the channel. RevKev RC. Thanks for stopping by. This is going to be, I don't know, kind of maybe a long one. I may have to break this up into a couple of parts because this thing's about to go through some changes. I have a steering servo for it, but and it's going to be epic. It's going to be very, very good. I think based on the specs. This just came out. This is a NSDRC, which means no superior design RC, right? This can go up to 8.4 volts, but at 8.4 volts, it's supposed to give us like 3 billion pounds of force. I'm just kidding. 157 kilograms of torque. Let's do that. There you go. This servo was less than $200. This equivalent in like a Reefs, like a Beast 2000. The Beast 2000, I think, is in a $300 plus $500. I don't even know. I know I saw the price and almost threw up in my mouth for the Reefs equivalent, spec wise, for a fifth scale servo for something like this monster. So these are well known in the SCX6 community to be, well, extremely good, very high value. So we're going to give this a chance. And I didn't go with Power Hobby because the only thing I can find that they make is 70 kilograms, which is what this thing already claims to have. And that's just not enough for me and for what I've experienced this thing doing on the trail. As a regular trail, flat, fairly easy, less technical trail setup, as this is out of the box, this brushed system with the servo that's in it, it's fine. It does okay. It's faster than it needs to be, and it's not as strong as it needs to be. Those two should be switched. This is going to apparently do both, though I don't care as much about the speed. I care about the power. This thing is supposed to deliver ridiculous amounts of power. I'm going to ensure that it gets 8.4. I'm going to test to see what this thing's actually putting out to the servo, just to know if I have to do any additional wizardry for powering this. Now, I also bought this servo horn to go along with it. I don't think I'm going to need it, but we'll see. You can buy this in a longer version too if you need it, but I think this is probably going to be fine. So we're going to find out. The one that's in it just might be fine anyway, because I'll have to look at it again closer, but I don't think it's obviously worse than this, or that this is obviously any better. But we'll see. It sure is pretty, though. It was like 15 bucks. But this is a plug into your receiver style servo. This is not a direct power. Direct power servos, they really are supreme. They're superior. But this one claims to give you all of that goodness. Oh, geez. Plugging it into your receiver like is a standard practice. And I mean, you look at the machining on this. Look at those fins machined into it. This thing is very obviously nicely constructed, and it's pretty heavy too. So I think that this is probably going to blow me away, and I'm going to be on here blowing smoke up in SDRCs, you know what, and about how good this is. But we're going to find out together. So that's going to go in. And I got some other things happening, for sure. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in this video, because this could take longer than I think. We'll see. I'm also going to do, this is self-adhesive, clear, peel, and stick. See that? There we go. It's like, well, what are you doing with that? What's that for? This is actually sold so that you can cover spaces like a backsplash or whatnot. I'm going to put it on here on the side because what I found, and I might put it over here too, I want to protect these decals from getting ripped and torn as I slide past things. So you can see down here, that's torn, that's torn. There's another spot over there that's tattered. I want to try to make this last because I like how this looks. And this is fairly thin. It'll add some slide because this is paper, you know. Rocks will slide better off of this than this. And if this gets scratched up, it's fine. I'll just put more on there. But this just gets ripped off and then it's gone. So I'm going to see if that'll give me what I want without looking ridiculous. This was pretty cheap. It was under $10 for a pretty big piece of it. But we'll figure out if that's going to accomplish what I want. I've also got, I'm going to show you right now in this video, I don't know when I'm going to put it in. I may need some additional parts, but I might not. Got this bad boy. Yep. Does it say what's in here? 2000 kV, so not quite the 2300, but this can take two. Is it 2 or is it 3? It can go up to 6S. So it's either going to be 2 to 6S or 3 to 6S. It's one of the two. But this can go up to 6S. This is about to wake this bad boy up and give me the performance that I want out of it. So first I want to do a couple of things. I want to test and see what this system actually gets fed. I want to know what the servo is actually getting before I figure out how I want to route power and whatnot. Because things that I had read online said that this truck was supposed to come with some sort of a external BEC that powered everything that was little, like the smaller servos, which are actually 10th scale servos, and the light board and things like that. Those are all supposed to only be getting, you know, up to whatever voltage, probably 6 or no more than 7.4, and this was supposed to get the full 8.4. I don't think that it is. I don't think that it is, but we're gonna find out. So stick around. I'm gonna pull the end of this, which is just right over here. They've done this nice thing. I can follow the colors and I know that it's over here. Because they had to do some circuit board magicry to allow the servo to talk to this light board. Ow. Or maybe it's that one for the blinkers. The servo is not plugged into the receiver. It's on an extension down here that I can just unplug, and it actually tells you what channel it is. So that was very handy and thoughtful on their part. Their 8 scales that I have, the other smaller 8 scale EMO XXs, do something similar. So they're very good about labeling what their plugs are. You can see that one right there just a little bit. It's not labeled on this side, but it's a label on the other side. So I'm going to pull this off, and just for ease of moving it around and probably getting you guys into the camera here, and pull that off. Still got my battery in here. I just unplugged it. This 9,000 milliamp HOVU 120C, that's a 4S. So probably when I get that other system in there, we'll test on 4S and see. We know that this thing does 12 miles an hour in second gear and about 5 or 6 in first gear. So we'll see what it does, and that's on 4S. We'll see what it does on 4S with the new system if I'm able to get it in. Without, I might need a motor adapter. I'm not really sure yet, but we're going to find out. So stick around. All right, got the back off. I've got the truck powered on. You see we've got servo. Super fast. But if you look right here, It's not very strong. Like, I'm not giving it the death grip, but it's just not very strong. It's okay for trailing, but around these parts, we want it to be good. So, like I showed you a second ago, the servo cord is right here. I've traced it over. It's right here. We're going to unplug it. This is the servo side. Move the transmitter. Nothing happens. So I've got my multimeter here. Auto. I'm going to stick my probes in there and see what it tells me. Maybe we can get it all on camera and you can see it too. Or you'll watch me short this thing out and break it. Fingers crossed. Power is in the middle. Ground's all the way to the right. I'm going to uncover that one and leave that one covered so I can kind of plunge this into the corner and then protect this from touching in there. Hopefully. I should probably do something to hold that still. Is it DC or AC? Let's try the DC. Automatic mode. I don't know if I was actually touching anything. There's not a lot of room in here. 7.3. Yeah, it's not really getting 8.4. I don't remember when I programmed these. I think this only puts out 7.4. So what people were saying on the internet about this truck coming with an 8.4 volt servo and like sort of like a BEC, like a external BEC from what's in here to run the servo, that seems to be false. That seems to be not the case at all. This servo is only getting 7 point. I mean, once it reaches the servo, you can see right there it was reading 7.3. So it's only getting what is left of 7.4 after it makes it through the system here. Yeah, 7.42. So, yeah, it's not getting 8.4. And these didn't really come with any instructions. So I don't really know what it's supposed to be getting, but I'll tell you what. Let's just re-reference our NSDRC box here. 140 kilograms at 7.4. 1,944 ounces. So I still think if we plug this in and just swap it out, we're going to get a crazy improvement. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to try that first and see. This is useful for people who are potentially buying these and don't want to Frankenstein everything and build everything new like I am doing. So I'm going to take this thing out. This servo out. There's a lot of room in here. This is, I think I showed it when I first got it, first or second video. This will hold a 6S battery pack, no problem. And we're going to try it. for sure. Like, make no mistake about it. All right, I got some things zip tied in here. I'm gonna have to do some zip tie removal. I'm gonna try to not disturb this stuff too much if I can help it, so as not to just have to redo it all. But almost certainly that's gonna happen anyway. Let me get that trash can out here. Let's see. Yeah, where? Oh, is that just, this just doubled back right there? Can you see it? Yeah, so I'm going to cut all of these. I got more zip ties. Be careful, don't plunge in too far, Giggity, with your cutters. A lot of wires in there. Dang, there's one right there too. They do a good job with the wire management. Yeah. There we go. I didn't want to plunge my cutters in right there because I'd be punching wires or, you know, pinching wires. So I just kind of stuck it in there and broke it. Thin little zip ties, no big deal. Let's see. It's a pretty long cord. It's a nice long lead. This one is obviously shorter, so I'm not going to have to coil all that up as far. That's probably going to go right, look at that. That's going to go right there, nice and clean. Sweet. All right, I need a bigger bench. Whew. Let me move this camera a little bit. All right, I need to be able to work and also see what I'm doing, have you guys see what I'm doing as best as possible. Move that before I knock it down somewhere. Yeah, this servo horn looks long enough. Yeah, 5th scale servos. Oh, it even says 7.4 right on it. Right there. So this was never running and never really intended to run 8.4. So, can't be mad. It is what it is. It's not what it never claimed to be. All right. So we'll take note that the spline is on this side. Oh, it was the bigger one. Everything looks small next to a 5th scale servo. This thing is, I've never seen a servo cord this long. This is what you get when you have a company that makes proprietary servos. This is probably like just kind of a cheaper Amazon servo that they put their own longer cord on. This does not do well for crawlers, but it will do really well for a super Baja ray or a super rock ray, because faster steering in those is more important because they're high speed and they do not encounter a whole lot of high torque situations because they don't crawl. So that's still going to be a viable, usable servo for something more appropriate. This thing, I mean, you just don't get any easier than that kind of drop in. Now, I do want to look at that servo horn down here. I'm going to keep this anyway, so no sense in leaving it in the package. Essentially the same length. This one, the new one, might have a little bit more length, but it does have a better clamping system. So I am going to use this. I am going to use it. So let me take this out. Oh yeah, good Loctite. This one's fairly nice. It's aluminum. It's got 2 holes. Yeah, decent. I'm going to put this on the farther side. That way, if I get too much steering, I can back it off. But I think the torque is going to be good. So I am going to go with the further hole, similar to what they did. When I say too much steering, that's upside down. When I say too much steering, I mean like the endpoints might be adjusted too far out to where it's trying to push the servo in a direction that it can't go. Like beyond its mechanical limits of the steering. You know what I'm saying? The knuckles. All right, that's good. I'll slip on and then we'll pinch it right there. Let me just check for Loctite. Shouldn't be any. But while it is here, we're going to add some. We'll go with blue. That should be enough. I'm just going to start it, not apply any actual clamping tension. Okay, I'm going to put these in. I'm going to use the drill, but slowly. All right, I'm going to back these off just a little bit. Make sure that the servo is where I want it. So it can be a little bit wonky that way. I'm going to leave that loose. plug the servo in. Just want to use positive and negative. Okay, that's got the white line, so that's going to be our signal. Right there. Plug it in. Turn that on. Now I'm doing all this without hooking anything up for a reason. So, where do I put that battery? Here it is. So that I can get everything centered. So what I'm going to do, go in here, go to my steering trim. See, it's at 118 left. Those are my endpoints. Going to turn those all the way down. I'm going to turn it back to 100, which is like your default. And sub trim. See, steering is. Did I pass it up? Channel 1. Oh, yeah, I did. 16. So we're going to bring that down to 0. Why does that say 1%? I think it might be out here. Here. All right, now that's 0. Let's make sure this is still at 0. Channel 1, 0. Cool. Okay, so this is all back to 0. Turn this on. This will 0. We'll put our spline on here, or slip it on down here at the most appropriate spline position on here. And then we can do this little game that I did before, though this is not very much movement, and I don't think we have to play those games, but we will. Okay. Servo's got power. It's good. The wheels are straight visually. And stick my head in here. Yeah. This portion goes rear. It doesn't go like this. It goes like this. We'll just slip it on like that. And that I'm holding it on just to see what it looks like. Yeah, if I were to move the spline over a little bit, the whole steering would be off. Let's see, this right. No, it's hard to do when I'm not looking at it. That's straight. Pull that off, turn it, stick it on. That's one spline count over. One spline tooth over. That's back to where it was. So this is literally as good as it's going to get. And it looks almost perfect. It does look almost perfect. So a little bit of adjustment in the steering trim is going to make this very good. This step, this little like leave the servo loose thing isn't as useful when you have steering spline teeth that are this big, because that little bit of adjustment does basically nothing. And all you can do is hope that you have enough steering trim available. Hopefully this is the same kind of screw. I can turn this off since I've already zeroed the servo. I've already zeroed the servo. And we don't need to, excuse me, we don't need to have the truck on. All right, let's see. Is this the same screw? Or do I need to find me another one? Nope, that looks like it's going in just fine. Now it has a pinch screw here. So what I'll do is I'll get the main like through screw. I'll get that one attached semi-tight to seat this all the way against as far as it will go. And then I will come over here and tighten this one to give me the clamping force. Because if you tighten this one inward a lot, you're fighting the biting force of that screw going down against these trying to pinch forward or pinch together, because you are pinching this tighter. So snug here so you know that it can't go further that way, and then tighten this down to where you want. Luckily everything's lining up real easy, so I can just fit this driver in there. I can even move the like that and move it out here to get a real good bite at it, but it seems like it was actually a little bit easier right here. So you might not be getting a good look at this. I don't know. This is pretty big, beefy hardware. So I'm going to cinch it down pretty good. All right, that one's good. Grab a hold of this thing. Yep, that feels good. All right, let's power her back up. Oh my God. That's got, well, a ton of speed. And it looks like, you see how it's torquing the truck right there? We're hitting our physical limits down here. It's hitting the stops. And I'll show that to you in a second, but let's just hand feel the torque. You know, I'm actually able to stop it. It doesn't really feel much stronger. I'm going to have to get this thing on 8.4 volts to get everything I can. We'll see how it translates on the trail. It's definitely better. It's definitely better for sure. Boy, that's fast. I might need to slow the rate down. I don't need a servo that fast. We'll see. Let me put this battery in it. Put it on the ground. Get it trimmed so it drives straight. Then we'll come back and I'll show you the other thing I was telling you about, the physical limits here, which you might already know, but we'll see. All right, I got you zoomed in a little bit. I drove it. The trim was only needed to be adjusted about 3 degrees. I don't know, 3 increments. It was just driving a little bit to the left. So, 3 on the remote here. Got her squared away. The endpoints I've set, they are actually very, very, very low. This servo can swing extraordinarily wide. Um, I don't think you can see it because I don't know if it's going to, but if you look, you might be able to. 65 on the left and 60 on the right. And what that gets us is, because it starts at 100, 100 was going to try to break this stuff. But we got a little stop right here, meant to stop it from bottoming out. Well, that is where it bottoms out. So you back that off until that just touches a little bit. And then I like to add one more. So it touched at about 59 on the right. And I add just one more to make sure I get good hard steering. Same on the left at 65. So at about 64-ish, it touches. So I add one more to 65, and then it gets me that real solid, hard, good stopping turning, right? And because this thing has such a ridiculous arc swing on the servo, I moved the linkage here from the bottom hole to the closer hole. So I have shortened the leverage arm effectively on the servo horn. So that is going to give us just a little bit more torque. Sorry, I'm trying to back out of my remote so I don't bump anything. So what we have is we can go full hard either direction, and we're not in danger of overworking the servo, breaking something, overworking the ball ends. Because if it's pulling too hard one direction or the other and it's meeting a mechanical limit, it's just stressing out parts that are meant to give, like these plastic parts. It's stressing all that stuff out more than it really has to. So pretty good steering on this thing. And I think the torque is probably going to be all right. Let me put this thing in neutral. Yeah, I programmed the neutral in this thing so I can roll it around on the bench when it's on. Which, go back and watch. I got a Coyote video where I talk about that. How to do it. It's easy. You just use your 3-position switch here. And then that side is first gear. That side is second gear. In the middle, you use your trim on the remote. And you find where first and second have a space so that you can roll the thing. Show you on mine what it looks like. Yeah. Now that we're not zoomed in, I can actually show you the remote. So yeah, left is at 65, the right is at 60. And our steering, let's see, 1%. So suppose that 3 increments of adjustment is 1%. Let's go look and see. Yeah, so 3 to whatever that means to this remote is 1% of steering trim. And what's that? Channel 7. See, I have channel 7 here. If I switch it into first gear, you'll notice that it goes all the way to that side, 120. If I go to second gear, all the way to that side, 120. And to get to neutral, I just adjust where that dot is, how big it is, changes the center where I get neutral, basically. So you can get neutral when it's not actually programmed to be a neutral. It's pretty neat. All right, let's see. Does this feel stronger now that I've shortened the leverage arm on the servo? Yeah, it does. It does feel stronger. It's wanting to kind of like rip the tire out of my hand. So this is definitely improvement. And then whenever I swap the system out and run this on 8.4, it's going to be an even better improvement. And I think on the trail, I will be extraordinarily happy with it. It's already pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty good. Maybe there's a reason why people buy the reefs for several hundred more dollars than this, but this I think is going to be fine for me. It is an improvement, and it sure does look good, and it was easy. But that is servo done. Now I'm going to see if I can actually manage to swap this out, and if I can, maybe I should put you in frame. If I can, it'll be in the next video. This one's already 41 minutes. We're going to call this the servo swap video. The next one is going to be me swapping this out, or it'll be running footage because I don't have the ability to do it. I might need those parts, which I've already ordered them just in case, but hopefully, you know, there's like a $15 part, so if I don't need it, whatever. But if I do need it, it'll be here. It's coming on the slow boat. Maybe the fast, I don't know. It's AliExpress. It's already shipped. But in any case, we're going to find out. But this is going to do it for this video. It's already going on too long. Servo video. If you watch, now you know my ultimate plans, my evil ultimate plans for this thing. There's going to be quite a bit more things happening. I'm going to add some more lights to it and do the other things I talked about before. But that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for coming out. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I sure would appreciate it. Makes my heart feel all good inside. And yeah, so, let me know a comment if you've used this before. If you think I should have not cheaped out and just got the Holy Grail Reefs Beast 2000 or whatever they're calling them. I don't know. Let me know. Appreciate you coming out. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Ring the bell. I remembered. And we'll see you in the next one. Later.